everybody. It's another freaking crazy week. They can't find enough bad guys, so they have to keep making them. 40 of the 55 protesters that were Proud Boys in January 6th were feds. Cleopatra is apparently black. Mindy Kaling is, for some crazy, probably racist reason, losing a ton of weight and looking amazing. And I think that's a white supremacist thing. We're going to talk about it and a ton more bunch of crap. Stick around. She looks really good.
She does.
She looks good.
You know what I was about to say, though? Ozempic.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, it's magic, you know.
Ozempic.
That's the pill
That's the
they all
pill.
take?
Yes, that's like a very, very famous like Hollywood drug that they're using for like easy weight loss. But I mean, I'm not saying she did that. You know, I'm not saying she did. But it's very popular. They're saying that a bunch of the celebrities are having like weird side effects from it and everything.
Right.
But don't know if it's true. But she does look great.
I mean, but how bad can a side effect be if it makes you skinny? Like, if you got me in great shape and all I have to do is take a pill mostly.
Meth will get you skinny.
Okay, so there's a line. We've established that there is a line of stuff I wouldn't do to get skinny. I mean, I'm doing good on my diet. I'm actually down quite a bit. I'm kicking butt. But here's what I was gonna say though.
Oh, go ahead.
If you told me there's a pill here, Ross, take this pill, and it'll get you down to like your goal weight, but it gives you achy joints while you take it, I would be like, not a problem. If they were like, it makes nights a little bit sleepless, I would be like, I got other stuff for that, not a problem. You know, if they were like, it makes your hair fall out, I might be like,
that's a problem.
That's close to a problem. For how long? You know what I'm saying? Like, because my hair is pretty short. We're talking a 3.5 month regrowth session. That's not that big of a deal. But if you were like anal seepage, I would be like,
a lot of them
that's
too.
a problem. Can't do that.
Okay, well, what if it was one of those things where you have to keep taking it, but as soon as you get off of it, everything is ruined? Would you really want to go through all that, do the damage to your body with this, shortcut drug or whatever it is?
Wait, what was your question? If it was what?
If you have to keep taking it, what if you get to your goal weight?
But you have to keep taking it to maintain it.
Right. What if
no, that's not worth it.
Exactly. So it's not
It's like testosterone.
Damage.
Like I could take testosterone right now and it would probably help me weight lift and stuff like that, but it messes up a little bit of other things and then you always have to take it. And so I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll wait till I'm 50 and then I'll take testosterone like everybody else or whatever when it's supposed to happen.
Right.
Whatever. I need to do more squats. Squats apparently are a super good way to get a ton of testosterone.
Yes.
So I work out
Big
other
muscles.
ways, but I don't usually do the squats.
It's because they're huge muscles. Your hamstrings and your glutes, huge muscles, which like stimulate that testosterone production, even in women too. Like because we have a little bit of those hormones in our body too. And they say like, do those heavy weights on those legs. And unfortunately, leg day is very uncomfortable during and very uncomfortable afterwards.
It's true. It does suck. Leg day's the worst. Hammer curls, man. You do too many of them bad boys, you ain't walking out the gym.
Yeah.
Looking like a brand new horse.
Right? And you
like,
have 2 stories too. That's gotta suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. Honestly, I can't wait till we get to our forever home, hopefully in the next year or so, maybe a year and a half. But because I want to have a house that's all one level, just because whenever I think right now, I gotta go do a thing, or I need to go up to my office, or I gotta go up to my studio or whatever, I'm always like, oh, I gotta go to work. I got to do that annoying physical task in order to get to the other task. And if it was just a room that I walked into, I'd be so much more proficient. And how bad is that of me to be like, man, I need the room to be on the same level for me to do all the work I should do. But it's kind of annoying. It's a chore to get in here a little bit. I can't wait to get it all set up.
You know what I kind of like about True Story is more like the security aspect. That there's only one way up, especially if you have like your bedrooms upstairs and downstairs, like that security aspect that at least if somebody's breaking in or something's happening, you at least have just a little bit of that time. They don't have like perfect access to you.
Right.
And like we keep like a gate up and everything. So you're going to hear that. Like the dog's going to hear it.
And let me say, for anti-theft devices, look, you can get as many locks and stuff as you want, but if you get some tough child kid gates, You ain't getting past that shit, my guy. I don't care how many cool nooks and crannies you brought. If you didn't know how to open the gate, bro, some of these gates are like you gotta like push a button, slide a thing, lift it up, and then move it back or some stuff. Bro, my kids still can't figure out. They're like, one of my kids is 6, and she's like, Dad. And I'm like, give me a minute. Like I usually step over this bitch.
I actually have a funny
but
story.
it's hard to do. So if you're a thief out there and you're not very good at stuff, you're gonna have a hard time. That was my whole point.
I have a funny story about that actually. Like my mom came to visit us and we kept the baby gate. And one time she gets up like super earlier than everyone else. So one time she came and like lightly knocked on my door in the morning. I'm like, yeah, what's wrong? And then she's like, can you help me? I cannot get downstairs. I just want to drink coffee. Apparently she had been going at it for a little while and couldn't figure it out and went and laid back down and then decided, okay, let me go.
That's funny.
Yes, it was. It was simple for us because we knew
you've done it 32 times.
But you were right. You're right. If somebody didn't know,
she was
literally trapped.
Right. She's like,
I just want my coffee.
And she's elder, so she can't like pull an athletic maneuver. You know, and you'd be like, let me just, I'll just do this thing. Yeah, like we put one foot on the wall and do a shimmy. You know, like, nah, bro. After a certain age, it's just like, hey, you're just as trapped as the toddler, bitch.
Yep.
Just as trapped as the toddler.
So you're right. Just put those. What are the doorknob things too?
Yeah.
Oh, they're annoying as heck.
They are, but
you
they
have
work.
One here somewhere.
I know.
I was like, try to open it.
Yeah, I do. All the defense mechanisms I can muster, you know, but from what I can tell, you know.
Good to be safe.
Better to be safe. So Mindy Kaling lost a ton of weight. Jeff, can you pull up this picture? You guys got to see this, man. I don't know why she did it. From what I understand, from what the woke crowd has told me over the last little while, the leftists have said, and Hollywood has basically said that the idea of losing weight is fat phobic. And, you know, it's actually, it's losing weight and being in shape and having a small physique is as rooted in white supremacy. That's a very common trend.
Yep.
So what about our Eurocentric Caucasian white supremacy ideals, Mindy, did you decide to agree with as an Indian to come to our side of the fence on this? And when did you start supporting Hitler? Look at her. Look at her. See, Ryan on The Office wouldn't have been able to say no, Mindy, but you couldn't put the cupcakes down.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Now they're going to think I'm actually the voice of like the bad guys. That's like the toxic masculine.
Mindy, eat some more cupcakes there, sweetness. You'll never be pretty. Your father was right.
Oh my God.
It's like they like put me in that category of that guy.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, especially from a health aspect. Oh, is that her?
Or is that?
Wow.
Hold on, let me put big screen on. I sound like a freaking caveman. Let me put big screen on. Let me put big screen. Dang, Mindy, she's like half of her former self.
Literally.
How much she's so much more feminine and petite. That's crazy.
Very much so. And I hope she's happy with it. That's the thing too. It says like in a couple of articles saying how she now
compared to the old one. Oh, there's a good one. That's probably the most attractive that I've seen her look ever.
And hopefully she's happy with it too. It seems so, or else
not
she wouldn't have
that
done
my opinion matters. But.
Right, exactly. But if she's happy, the thing is how long could people keep doing this thing where we're telling young ladies, and apparently they're saying men should do it too, but it felt like more in the women. They're saying, oh, just be a whale, but men has to have 6-pack and all that good stuff. But, you know, how many people had to die young? Did you see that one TV show they made about a beauty shop owner in Vegas? She was very big, 500 pounds, 600 pounds easily. And she died at 37.
What? What did she die from?
She was too big. I think she had a cardiac arrest or something. Like it was related to her weight. She was very big. The reason why she had a TV show is because she had a salon specifically for big girls. So it was all, you know, having chairs that support big girls and big girl beauty and big girl this. And I'm sexy in my voluptuousness and stuff like that.
Right, which is fine. You can think that if you want.
Right.
But like your heart
doesn't
is beating for 4 people.
Right.
And it should only be beating for 1. So, you know, the same thing as if you slap a 10,000 pound trailer on a Mazda Miata.
The engine won't run out.
It's gonna take a problem later on. Gonna be an issue.
It couldn't keep going like that. And you feel it when you gain weight, and especially if you were like a normal size at one point. I mean, it's just, I don't like this whole like body positivity where it started good. Because at first it was skinny, Kate Moss, stick thin models that people were trying to emulate. Remember the anorexia thing that got really popular for a little while?
And that stuff makes sense that we should have nipped a little bit of that in the bud. Wasn't a great thing for our girls to always be aspiring to be literally perfect in their shape 24/7 in that particular way, or at least to find all of their value in just that component. That doesn't make sense, and there was obviously some eating disorders and stuff that played a role in that. And that's just a little bit too toxic of an environment. But at the end of the day, do you think that any of the girls or the percentage of girls that have struggled with mental health in that particular category would if their father had been a better father? Because I don't think so. I think if better fathers would have been around, this problem would have been solved, because you'd be telling your girls you're beautiful, you look great and stuff like that. So that way they wouldn't always be so desperate to appease certain things. I think a lot of this has to come down to fathering.
It could be. And remember, parents aren't perfect either. We can't, they couldn't control everything. They couldn't, like, social media was something that parents did not see coming at all. So think about it. You don't know that your poor daughter's in a room looking at all these Instagram models who are all airbrushed and everything, or, they get paid to look perfect. So they work out all day. So, and they're sitting here wondering why they don't look good. The dad doesn't know about that. So I think there's a little overlap
maybe
there.
a little, but if you let them on their phones, the dad should know about that.
Right. Exactly. So
I'm all about
It's
like one of
parenting.
the most sheltered possible existences. Like I'm literally thinking of like, how can I be more sheltered in more different ways? Like, I don't want you to know anything except for what I tell you. And then I want you to, because like people will beat you to the punch with your kids about topics. So you got to talk about stuff early with them.
Yeah.
Because you want to have the first say. But anyway, all that to say, Mindy Kaling looks great. I support weight loss. I think it's a great idea. She's probably going to live longer now too.
It says here
what a
that
curse.
she's also
What a
running.
bad thing for her to have done for herself, everybody.
Right. And it says she's running. I just tell myself I have to basically do 20 miles a week of either hiking or running. I mean, that's great. That's great. That's great for any size. It doesn't matter if you're not trying to lose weight. The exercise. We need to be out and doing stuff. We're made to move.
Right.
So I think it's great.
Yeah, I think I wish I could be playing more sports right now, just because I want to stay in like the shape of a person who's doing a physical thing on a consistent basis, because running on a treadmill or walking uphill and stuff like that is kind of such a specific thing. And it's like, okay, this kind of translates to like being good at these things, but it's not quite the same,
Beach volleyball.
And I'm excited for when I lose a bunch of weight, because I'm going to get real small, real good looking. And then I'm going to be able to do a lot more sports without fear of injury.
Yeah.
Because like right now I'm still like, 270 ish or whatever. And it's like, look, I'm not saying that's like huge, but like, bro, gravity and 270. Wrong. Yeah. It needs donezo.
Yep.
But if you're 190, 200,
doable.
You'll be injured and you'll be all right.
Ish.
Yeah. Ish. Shit. Although now, I mean, I'm in my 30s. So like, I mean, pretty much every night my feet hurt. Like my feet are always hurting. I have to stretch them out and stuff like that. I'm doing all like the.
I bet when you lose weight, you won't have to do that.
Right. I bet so. I bet it'll get a lot better.
Yep. Motivation.
Motivation,
Plus
baby.
Drinking your water and everything, so you're good.
Yeah, that's all I need to do. Drink water. That's it, guys. Everything else is fine. Actually, you want to know the real winner? Shirataki noodles.
Yeah.
Like 5 calories for like a ton of noodles. Look them up. Amazon, you can buy them. Shirataki noodles.
You have to prepare them correctly.
You have to prepare them correctly.
Yep.
You have to rinse them off.
YouTube it.
Yeah. And then you gotta fry them in the air pan. And what they are is they're like 5 calories for like what would normally be 200, 300 calories, maybe 400 calories of regular pasta. So it helps. And there's all types of different shapes too. So you can pretty much replace it with regular pasta. Mm-hmm. It doesn't taste like regular pasta. It kind of doesn't have a taste. It kind of has no personality, and whatever sauce, if you're wise, you cook it in, it takes on that personality, but you got to pan roast it. You rinse it off, get all the stuff off of it that it comes in the bag with, and then you pan roast it afterwards until it's like almost dry.
This is now like a diet cooking channel.
Yes.
Now we're going to put out like recipes like Ross loses weight. Come to my kitchen.
Yep. It'll be there.
Yeah.
Courtney, that's actually something I am working on, just so you know, Courtney. I do want to actually do a little dumb cookbook for all the dumb things I'm doing right now. So I was going to need some help with that. Because somebody would buy it. For sure, somebody would buy it. Because I think it's actually really good. I got a lot of recipes in there that are really working.
I mean, little tricks and tips is what people need. People need those little, just something. And you're a busy person, so it's not like you have time to sit there and like cook for like 3 hours. So people need doable recipes.
Right.
Doable for regular people, regular life.
Yeah. Yeah. I spend a lot of my time cooking now. A lot of my free time, I'm literally making meals.
It's therapeutic.
It is kind of therapeutic.
I like it.
It is therapeutic. You get all excited, you get the dopamine the whole time you're cooking. You're like, oh, I can't wait to the end of this because then I'm going to eat it.
Right.
And then when you eat it, it's like, usually it's like a 7 out of a 10.
Yeah,
exciting.
I was going to say, I could have done better. And everyone's like, oh, this is amazing. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, it's a 7, right?
Yeah.
I always feel like it's a 7. But if my wife would have made it for me, I would be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Bro, let me tell you, as a male, ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking to figure out how you can attract a male, honestly, there were some ladies at the Bible college that I went to when I was growing up as a wee boy. And as a way to court men or to get the men attention, they would be like, hey, I baked a bunch of people, this food. And there would be a group of 5 guys that lived together or something. So like a girl would like bring over like a pan of food, or whatever, and be like, hey, I made this for you guys. And it's like a big pan of lasagna, so she's just increasing her chances. You know what I mean? Like,
really? They
so
did that for
smart.
real to do that? Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie.
Interesting.
Are you kidding? Like so here's when it wouldn't matter. If I didn't think you were attractive at all, it wouldn't matter.
Right.
But if I thought you were a 6.5 or above,
the food mattered.
And then you cooked.
Yeah.
I would be like, bro, but let me tell you a funny story. There was a girl one time who was like a 2, my guy. She was like a 2. She was like a 2. And I thought she was into my buddy. And so she invited us over. She invited us over for food, bro. I keep calling you bro because this is funny.
No.
And like, it was some of the worst food I've ever had in my life. Like, it was not cooked at all. She put there was like dough in it, and it was like a dish that had dough, and it was like undercooked.
That's the worst.
And I thought she was like really embarrassing herself in front of my buddy. And then I found out that night while I was there that she was actually interested in me, not my buddy, and that I had entertained it by like coming over to like eat with her and stuff. Oh man. Oh, it was bad.
I was going to say the letdown had to be
yeah, it was
brutal.
bad. But I was always a quick surgeon with the letdowns. Whenever I'd tell them I wasn't interested or something, I was always quick to it because I don't like it when people like, well, I don't know, not a good time. Maybe at a different time in our lives. No, that's not fair. Like, cut them loose, bro. If you're not interested,
that's good.
I would just be like, hey, look, I am not romantically interested in you.
Right.
And I would try to say it as kind as I could, but I would be like, I'm just not that way with you.
That's interesting, too, that you said that the young ladies were doing that for like the sake of, possibly finding a husband or a mate to become a husband or something like that, or at least getting into the courting. Nowadays, it feels like girls, that's not even in the cards for women going to college now. They're not looking at like, hey, maybe I can find my soulmate and we can start a family and, build a life together. Now it's all like career. Don't even worry about, you need to make sure you get a 9-year with 2 major degrees and everything. And don't even think about like,
and then if you get married to a successful man, you're going to stop doing all that anyway, because life is way more fun to hang out with your family all the time.
Well, but they're discouraging that. They're not telling women that. They're saying, no, go and get your career.
Right, go do it. And then in 10 years, when you have all the debt and your husband's paying all the bills anyway,
if you can find
and
one.
You're at home, but now you're out $120K and 4 years of your life went to do nothing.
If you can
Because if you marry a successful man, now you might not be thinking success is the same thing I think success is, but I don't know, man.
I mean, if you're starting young and you're starting young with a man, success doesn't necessarily have to be what maybe you and I might be thinking about it in our 30s type of thing. The success doesn't necessarily have to look how, we might see it at this age. They can build the life together. Like, look at like LeBron James and Savannah James. Like, she was with him from the beginning as a supportive wife and supported him, and look at them now. They're millionaires. So sometimes you can be there in the beginning of things and could like blossom into something wonderful.
That's my wife. I mean, heck, when I married her or when we started dating, I was making $26,500 $26,500 as a route delivery driver for like a sign company. That's what I was making. I was making $13 or something an hour. Is what I was making. She was a teacher making like $20 something an hour or whatever. I thought she had her shit together. That's what I thought. She
Yeah.
had a Toyota Corolla. So I was like,
Ooh.
dang, that's a legit car.
Fancy.
You know, I was like, that's
That
a
is
legit, car.
Toyota
Yeah.
Corolla's good.
But she had the base model too. It was like nothing spectacular, man.
You don't
Nothing.
need all that stuff anyway.
Cloth, everything, bro. So I was like, but even then, my status was so low at that point that I was like, dang. I was like, she's a teacher at a public school and she's got a Toyota Corolla and she's got her own
health
apartment.
insurance.
Yeah, I was like, wow, she's got her shit together. Right. And then anyway, like I decided to move out there near her. And then I got into sales and started making real money. I didn't even know it was possible to make like serious money. And now I'm making good money. And hopefully in the next, 5 years, I'll be able to I can buy my wife anything I want money because that's what I was planning on. But she didn't marry me for any of that. She's been down since day one. So I can't wait to just make her world like horses, carriages, even sometimes for funsies, like whole 9 yards, bro. She's going to be like, what do I want to Martha Stewart do today? She's going to have it down. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, speaking of marrying into money, we have the prince formerly known as Harry or whatever, and Meghan Markle. Did you hear about their New York car chase?
Yes, I heard a little bit about it, but give me the deets.
So apparently they were leaving some event where she got what is this for? A Woman of Vision Award. What does that sound like to you? Nothing, right? You're saying nothing?
Yeah, it sounds like pretty much nothing.
It is fucking nothing.
Yeah, it sounds like nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. Okay. So they're going to this award show or whatever, and they basically get into some confusing...
A glasses expo or something?
I forgot what the name of the thing was. It was hosted by Hertz Rent-A-Car. I just remember that because all the yellow Hertz signs were around or whatever. And she brought her mother. She has to make sure she reminds everyone that she's half black or whatever, quarter black. So she brings the mother,
Her pet mom.
Yes. And they basically got into a confusing thing with the paparazzi where they promised them that, yeah, we're going to go to this restaurant, just follow us there and you can get pictures of Harry and Meghan and everything. But instead they lied to the paparazzi and then
tried to ditch them.
Right. And then acted like, why are they following us? And did like all these crazy maneuvers.
And then wrecked.
No, that's what they're trying to suggest. Basically what happened was it was their security that was driving erratically in their blacked out SUVs. For some reason, they went and switched vehicles and got into a yellow taxi cab with a driver they didn't even know. And then all the paparazzi were like taking pictures of them and they're pretending like the paparazzi were chasing them down when that's not what happened. They had actually said, hey, you're going to get your paparazzi photos. Just come with us to dinner. But they tricked them. Yeah, they were trying to make that happen. Well, everybody is coming out against them. The mayor of New York, the next day, they tried to say that they got into a near catastrophic car accident where sidewalks were being jumped. The paparazzi were cutting people off. They were saying all this crazy stuff. And Harry comes out and says they will not, for some reason, these two will not let Princess Diana just lie in peace. Rest in peace for real. He says, I have never come closer to feeling what my mother felt that night in the tunnel back in 1997 than now. Yes, exactly. After a grueling and sometimes dangerous 2-hour car chase, the paparazzi finally managed to lose Harry and Meghan. It's backwards. Yeah, but that's basically what happened is that they made this whole fiasco because Harry is trying to get IPP status. Do you know what IPP status is? International Protected Person. What does that mean for us as the taxpayers here in America? It means that if he gets that protection, we have to pay $10 million a year plus, because remember, his kids, when they get older, they'll get IPP status for being his children. We would have to foot this bill security for them, $10 million a year plus for their security. So what they're trying to do is make this
so crazy.
Isn't that it's really effing sneaky
And pretty smart.
It is.
If you're them.
Well, they weren't that smart because they did this in New York where there are cameras everywhere and people have camera phones and people are awake at all hours of the night in New York City. 10 p.m. This happened like at 10 p.m.
Right. It just shows you like so here's probably how this occurred, right? So you have to play this out, play the whole scenario. They're talking about it. they're like, man, it is so like, why are we paying? Like everybody else is cashing out on Biden being a non-NARB. We should do the same thing. How can we do it? Well, look, you can get IPP status if you want, but here's what you got to do to be able to get it. So you could probably get something like that to happen. And I'm sure they would just rubber stamp it as soon as something landed on their desk. So you just got to be able to stage something. They're like, but like, I mean, that would be cool. $10 million a year we can just keep in our pocket, like literally the conversation potentially, and it's like somebody told them about it because they've been exploiting this kind of crap for the longest time. The more I've been around, the more I've been learning about how just it's bad, dude. Like how good they are at ripping money out of the American taxpayer for whatever they want. They just foreign aid, whatever.
They have a
what's this say here?
Oh, okay.
Hansen explained respectfully, considering the Duke's family history, one would have to think nothing of the couple or anybody associated with them to believe that this was any sort of PR stunt. Quite frankly, I think that's abhorrent. Who said that?
Whoever's batting for them. This is In Style magazine. They're on Harry and Meghan's payroll. They're trying to like get the IPP status. So they're trying to pretend that something happened. That's the night right there. Oh yeah, see the W, the women in the background. It was the Women of Vision Awards or something. I have no clue. She loves to talk about herself. So whatever it is that she can award herself with.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, this is the ad where they said that, the closest I've ever felt to feeling what the night his mother died back in 1997 when she was being pursued by paparazzi, right? Trying to play the full martyr. Okay, right, buddy.
And that's not what happened necessarily. Diana got into a car with the drunk driver and they weren't wearing seatbelts and she had called the paparazzi to where she was that night in France. So there's a lot of blame that, and a lot of
bring
people
up
keep
that other
saying
thing
this.
from Discord, Jeff.
A lot of people keep saying this. Oh, Harry lost his mother so tragically in 1997. He's 40 years old. Stop treating him, oh, poor thing. Oh, that's why he's so traumatized when paparazzi come around and blah, blah. I think it's, that's my thing is that they are trying to get this IPP status.
So you think Diana died for real? For real? You don't think it was a conspiracy to have her killed?
No, I don't think that.
Okay.
No.
I haven't looked into it much, but I had heard.
Yeah, some people say that. Yeah, it was really tragic accident when you really look at everything that happened. Also, what happened was in France, they have a stop and resuscitate order. What a stop and resuscitate order does, unfortunately, is that you don't get to the hospital sooner. She was starting to code. So instead of going to the hospital, their practice is stop the ambulance to resuscitate the person when they should have went straight to the hospital. What happened was she had an aortic tear or something in her vessels in her heart lung area, and it was bleeding out. So there wasn't anything they could have done for her in the ambulance. They should have taken her to the hospital a lot sooner. That was another thing that they say contributed. It was a lot of things, I think, that added up to it just being a really, really shitty accident.
You know what's crazy?
What's up?
Just think for a second. Me and you are billionaires. There's no laws about anything, and we have all the technology that we've had for the last 10 years.
The royal family. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're in that position. One time something like that happens, and you're like, oh, okay, that kind of a thing can happen. Drones that have the ability to carry 350 pounds are now at every hospital. And as soon as somebody calls like a yellow alert or something like that, it goes and takes off straight to the site of the accident, and then picks up a person, puts them in the 300-pound weight limit thingy, and goes and comes right back. It's crazy fast. It's whatever. It's faster than everything. They've created this.
Most likely.
Like this is not like, how am I thinking of this right now? And I have no billions and no millions of taxpayer dollars sitting at my fingertips. But instead, we send bukus of money to like crazy, worthless wars that happen, Ukraine. Foreign aid that has nothing to do with anything, like tons of pharmaceutical studies that are harming people in a lot of cases, and like there's so much money that is spent on things that don't actually benefit the humanity as a whole.
The Pakistani gender studies.
Yeah, the Pakistani gender studies, and I don't just mean like American taxes. I mean taxes, like. if you gave me all of your money or 30% of all of your money, I would make your life significantly better in a very short amount of time, like easily. And if there was a group of 10,000, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying government has been so far removed from actually trying to help people the right way at this point that it just seems like we're not going back. And that's the battle of the world today. Yeah. The battle of the world is that there is ever encroaching governmental entities attempting to suck from you in order to benefit some other thing that's not you. And the majority of the world used to recognize it when that would happen, and they would call it out. And American ideals help them go, this is not right, and this should be more like what the Bill of Rights creates in the United States. Even though there was corrupt people in the top of the United States running things a lot, the ideals that America was founded on are still the beacon of hope for all humanity. And what's happened slowly, especially over the last 4 years, has been this mass brainwashing that said the collective is supposed to support the vision and kind of a thing, like the vision of the government, you know, and
or
so like
billionaires that
or whatever it is. It's like,
planet.
well, you're not wearing your mask and doing what the rest of us have said we're going to do. You're not getting the shot. You don't deserve to participate, you know, or whatever. And it's like this cult thinking that didn't exist 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Even 5 years ago, it didn't exist. It came around during COVID. And so this is a worldwide brainwashing thing that's happening that's basically making people significantly more compliant to governmental overreach out of what? Fear or a fear of their safety or something like that.
I don't think it's necessarily fear alone. I also think it's laziness, because compliance is also like, hey,
it's
just
easier.
leave me alone.
Yeah, if I don't have to take like being an owner of something is so much more responsible than being a renter of something.
Very true.
Right? And so it's like a whole different world, and people want to ditch responsibility because we're being brainwashed to look at that and go, oh yeah, I just want to escape. I want to go into leisure all the time.
Yes.
I want to be on the beach with the Hawaiian drink and at you know, in the sun. And that's like everybody's dream of like when they finally make it or whatever, but like it's an illusion. Responsibility is actually value. Responsibility is purpose. And the more and happier you embrace it, the better your life is. And so they're tricking everybody with this, and they're basically creating this system where the government is taking control of people at a faster rate than I think has probably ever been done in history. So many people are willing to just sign their rights over to make sure the AC stays on. And I see that as the war of our lifetime, is basically warning people against that, because once they get that gate closed, it's going to stay closed forever, because you will forever be enslaved under that thing, because they'll never let they'll never let Jurassic Park break out ever again.
Well, you know what that is? That's a Marxist ideology. Marxist ideology believes the Marxism, communism, whatever, that sort of thing believes that human beings, we're meant for a life of leisure. It's in like the little brochure, the Marxist brochure, that we are made to enjoy life and live and prosper and just have leisure, basically just laying on the grass or the beach, reading books and just reading stuff and everything. And like you said, no responsibilities, no working. I mean, hell, have you seen TikTok videos of young people saying that they don't understand why they have to work so hard to pay rent, that this housing is a right and not a privilege? It's like, no, it's a privilege of your hard work. You know, you have to work for it.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways you can do this, Jeff. You can go out into the wilderness, go up into Alaska where nobody exists, and if you had a hammer and nails, you could build the thing that you get to live in.
Right.
And therefore it's fair. Right?
Yeah.
That's the way it works. Or if you exist in the money side of things where you can't trade like badger hides and good tools to other person who might live in woods also, then you have to like participate in the society that generates revenue.
So you can,
right. You have to eat food. Like, it's just, if we left you out in the wild, how would you exist? Right. You would have to do something to get something. So all that's happened is that we've changed the buttons on the machine. And now instead of gather wood, hunt deer, trap rabbit, and feed family, we go to work, do the thing, and then money shows up to give family and do whatever. So you have to learn to run on this treadmill in order to get this treadmill, you know? And the only problem is that a lot of that's contingent on your parents, because if you're born to nothing, then you don't know, then you wouldn't know that. You know what I'm saying? If you have nothing and your parents rent forever their whole lives, you have nothing to even be like, oh, I should probably I should probably establish something that's mine.
Right. Or
private property.
You wouldn't know. Yeah. You wouldn't know how to fix your own thing because it's like, oh, well, like they go out on their own and something breaks. And it's like, who do I call to fix it? Because yeah, you're right. I always rented. We called a landlord. Someone else always did it, but that comes with a cost.
Right. And the cost is you give up control.
Yes.
That's the cost. You lose control. It's never
yours.
But when you say it like this, when we were talking like this, John, whatever his name is, the dude that I follow on Twitter, he says this in a really good way. He says Marxism essentially is the abolition or removal of private property. He's like, that's what Marxism is yes. Ultimate goal is.
Look at during the pandemic, BlackRock was buying up homes left and right while they were astronomically expensive. Why would somebody do that? Why would a company do that? Buy at the top of the market like that unless there was something more sinister in mind.
Right.
Right.
You're not just so yeah, the only reason you do that is because you know you're going to gather all of it if you can eventually.
And they could. They had the money. No one else did.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is fast forward, like this is not looking good for humanity just as a whole. Like, even if you're a person who's like, I'm on the left and I think whatever, you can think whatever you want, sis. But like, look, if they get control, you yourself has said the governments go bad after a while, you know?
Look, BlackRock, other investment firms killing the dream of home ownership, journalist says. Yeah, I remember they were buying up everything. And
yeah, so it's a way to build generational wealth too. It's one of the primary ways.
Yes. And also think about when BlackRock was buying up everything, they buy up the good areas too, the nice where you want to own a home or something like that. And then what are the people left with? You know, you either rent from BlackRock in your nice area or you go out and try to figure it out on your own. So which one do you want to do? What are human beings going to do? They're going to take the easier route and maybe rent from BlackRock instead.
Yeah, everything's a racket. It's kind of crazy.
It is. But I mean, I think people are starting to wake up. I mean,
40% of Americans don't believe they're ever going to be able to purchase a home is what that thing said.
Really?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Which I don't disagree, man. It's hard for me right now to like to even think of what I can find in price range and be like, okay, that sounds cool. You know, because even out here, you got to pay $600,000 for a house that you like. You know, you're like, okay, I don't mind this. You know, not the house that you want. A house that you like is $600K. You know, and it's like,
then the yards are like the size of a postage stamp.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And you can't really move because when you got a connection somewhere, you got friends and you got like a family and stuff like that, it's hard to just be like, let me just dip out of here, you know, type of thing. I don't want to go move out into the boonies, even though it'd be cheaper. It's like, yeah, but you're leaving everything that you cared about doing behind, you know, a little bit.
Right. Well, it's kind of like what you were saying earlier, the trade-off. You either go and live out in the boonies and like you're, you know, tilling your own corn or doing some of that other stuff and maybe going and shopping at grocery stores out there, which will be cheaper. And trading some honey and eggs with your neighbor and stuff like that. But if you come back to the city, you're trading time for the money and riding the metro rail and then, you know, using the money to buy from there. So it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind being on a big place and having to raise my own stuff and all that. That doesn't bug me. The thing that would bug me is not being around physically community. Yeah. You know, so I'd have to do that whole thing with like a group of 10 other families that live in the same 100 acres as us or something like that. And then we could make it work some kind of way. But that's like dream. That would be like who are the right people? How you know they're the right people? Yep. You know, fast forward 12 years, y'all still friends, you know? Like how do you know, man? Like people are so tough to like figure out. It's hard to really know for sure.
No, you don't know.
What else we got on the ticket? Let's bring up the bike Karen. Tell this whole story, Tina.
Oh my goodness. I actually have a thing that basically sums up what happened with bike Karen.
Record him. Help me! Please help me! It's not your bike. Please help me! It's not your bike. It's not your bike. Please help me! Help! Please get off me!
Hey, what the fuck is going on, bro?
Yo, don't not take it, bro.
Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Hey, now you're not getting the bike.
Help! You're not getting the bike. I'm not. Bro,
why you took his phone? What's wrong with you?
You're not touching my phone.
You're not touching his phone.
I'm not touching you. You putting your stomach on my hand.
No, dude, stop. No, dude, stop. No, no. I said no. I said sit down.
Please help.
She's just crying.
You're not crying. You're not crying. I got
Stupid.
I got
This
your
is my
video.
bike. Drunk.
Wait, you put it out? Hey, Hassan, you put it out? Hassan,
I don't give a fuck.
Hassan, you put it out?
This is my bike. It's on my account. Please move.
All right, so why don't we reset the bike?
I'm not resetting the bike.
It's his. It's his. It's his.
Reset it. I'm gonna pull it out on your account.
You are active.
Walk. I don't give a fuck.
This is my fake crying. It's fake crying. Stop fake crying.
Hey, stop touching me. I don't touch you.
Hold up.
Hey, stop touching me. Stop touching me.
Why don't we take this bike?
Stop touching me.
I will.
Exactly. So take
Fuck out of
it.
here.
So take it.
You're stupid ass. Fuck out of here. Dumbass. Your baby gonna come out with
Wait, how you stop crying?
fuck.
Not a tear came down, miss. Not a tear came down.
So that is our basic interaction that went viral.
Yeah,
on the
seems
internet.
like there was some dumb altercation and then
Right. At worst, in my opinion, at worst, it's maybe a misunderstanding. She's 6 months pregnant, just got off a 12-hour shift. You know, could have maybe at the worst, just could have been a mistake. That had nothing to do with racism. That it could have just been a mistake. But instead,
let's see where the media took it.
let's see where the media took
Pull
it.
that video up, Jeff.
Yeah.
Background on this Karen. The Karenicity is unbelievable. Put up the picture. We got her name, where she works, her boss. I want to remind you of a couple of things that happened in this video. Obviously, it is telling, right? You know, she said, and I quote, "You are hurting my fetus, my unborn child." Did you all hear that part? She said that. Why did she say that? Because that bolsters her argument to do what she's attempting to do, which is theft under any other circumstance. We will call this attempted theft if the black male went up to the white female who paid for her opportunity to utilize the device and he decided to grab it and try to take it. We will call that clearly attempted theft. Sarah Jane Comrie appears to be an employee of the New York City, NYC Health Hospitals based on the embroidered health systems logo observed on her scrubs. The hospital prides itself in
doxed this chick.
neonatal care.
Doxing
The 100%.
I think these
doxed
black young man, specifically the one whose credit card was used to pull this bike out of the system, was attacked by a pregnant thug. Let's just call it what it is. Had this been reversed, everybody would have been up in uproar about how these black men have no care for life or people's rights or people's property. But when it's reversed, we talk about the first white man that ran up and tried to get them to reset the bike. Did you see at the end of the video, the young white man in black ran up aggressive as I'm assuming that pit bull was in Indiana. This is what happens when white women cry help, even when they don't deserve it. The exploitation of the word help in this case is unbelievable. The fake tears on the man is unbelievable. She should be tried for endangering her fetus, her unborn fetus. She put that child in danger. Because had that young man reacted in a different way when she pushed him for something that he's already used his resources to pay for, it would have been a whole different situation. So she should be liable, not just for battery on him, but the attempted battery that she could have caused that fetus. Then she should also be fired. Let's just say it. Who that looks like us? What black person want this woman around their newborn child in a neonatal? Ain't no way I would feel comfortable. But like you said, the explanations become glaring when we see these people's behavior. The lack of care for black life.
Pause it there, Jeff.
You are threatening.
So
Yeah, turns out.
that aged terribly for them.
Turns out they were robbing her.
Yep.
She's the one who paid for her own bike, and they were trying to take it after she put her credit card number in the thing. Pull this up, Tina. Go through it with everybody.
This is what the narrative that the entire world went with initially was this one that we're about to watch right now.
Please help me.
It's not your bike.
Please help me. Help.
This is the shocking moment a white hospital worker tried to steal a city bike from a black man who had already paid for it. The Bellevue hospital worker, referred to by internet users as City Bike Karen, fakes crying in an attempt to plead her case. Her antics have left viewers stunned and disgusted, with some calling for her to be fired. Bellevue Hospital have released a statement in which they have informed the public of their commitment to providing the highest quality care to all New Yorkers with dignity, cultural sensitivity, and compassion.
So what's the
Now-
truth? Where did the truth come in?
Now wait a minute. Now what's the worst? Again, a misunderstanding. So why not, if people started coming around, misunderstanding? So what would make more sense, right? Just reset the bike and everybody buy your bike, and
Right.
because you don't get charged if you didn't go anywhere. It's $0 charge. Did you hear when the guy had suggested, hey, why don't we just reset the bike? And he said, no, I don't want to reset it. It's my bike. Why wouldn't you want to reset it if you really wanted to end this altercation? And also, there was 5 guys and only 1 bike. That didn't alarm anyone. It didn't make anyone think for just a minute. Somebody who just got a 12-hour shift, got off a 12-hour shift, 6 months pregnant, would just walk up to a group of 5 young black men and say, as a woman, I'm going to steal this from them. This one bike from the 5 people. This one bike. And they didn't want to reset it. Yeah. Now it's, now people are like, oh, well, we shouldn't be.
Scroll down a little bit, Jeff.
We shouldn't be so quick to judge. Too late, man. That you saw they used her full name in that Rashad Ritchie clip.
Right.
Her full name. The hospital that she works, they even doxed the dean. Like, they didn't dox his
okay,
address.
It looks like it turns out that she was actually the victim, and the person was and the person with the right to the bike, and her attorney has the receipts to prove it.
Yes.
Scroll down, Jeff. Confirmed that the receipts match the rental code on her bike, causing NBC News to update its original story and Crump to delete his tweet. Too bad. She is going to sue the ever-living pants off of everybody involved, and she should, dude.
Right.
You straight called her a racist. You called the guy behind her racist. You called all of America racist. And then turns out a reason that they might become racist because black folks are trying to take their shit occurs. And you were basically putting it on the national spotlight for a minute.
Yes.
You're not helping, guys. You're not helping.
Did you hear, too, the way they're basically demonizing her for calling out for help? When Rashad Ritchie did his walk back after he deleted from the Young Turks, when he doxed her, had that meeting with the mayor, there was in that clip, too, I had the thing of what Ben Crump wrote as well. But he still was saying that, well, you can't just call out for help like that. That could have gotten them killed or something like that. And he's begging the young men to come
Please
forward.
come forward and show us your receipts so we can prove that you were actually the right people.
Exactly.
Yeah, too bad.
And no one is coming forward because we're seeing exactly what happened. It's not that complicated, but people want to say, oh, they're faking the receipts. She's faking that. I really don't think so. Why would she retain a lawyer and all that good stuff if she wasn't completely sure that?
Well, it was like the Sandman thing. Remember Nick Sandman when the Native American walked up to him with the drum and was banging the drum in his face?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the greatest fail of all time, and he sued everybody for millions and millions of dollars.
Gosh, she's gonna get rich.
Oh, she's gonna get wealthy as crap. What did he end with? I think it was 200 plus millions. 217 or something like that, and some crazy number.
You just reminded me of this. I totally forgot about this.
Yeah, good call, Jeff, bringing this story up. Yeah, that was, so this is going to be something just like it.
Wow.
You know?
Because they ruined her, called her so many awful things, racist.
There's not enough bad guys. They have to keep making them up, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. The supply does not meet the demand for white racism.
It doesn't. There's not enough of us that are mad about black folks just in general. Like, you guys are killing each other in record numbers. If we just leave our hands off the whole situation, you're doing a fine job, of taking care of yourselves. And you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not even racist, but like, the KKK's thinking that. What's his name? Richard Spencer or whatever, the flip was like, he endorsed the Democrat Party like a while ago or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that should tell you enough. Well, in New York City, I believe they said black people make up 23% of the population, but do about 70% of the crime. This was in New York City. So kind of like what you said, like that's the statistics, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean,
do better.
They ruined her life before finding out what was happening. They absolutely ruined her life. For what? And somebody who's supposed to remember the heroes? What happened to the heroes?
Right.
The heroes work here. Healthcare workers, you go and your TikTok videos.
Not anymore.
No, screw her, right? Screw her, even though we don't know what
I don't
really
want my
happened.
kids coming in her neonatal section, that guy said. How sick.
Shitty.
How sick of a thing to say about somebody that actually does take care of little babies. Like, you assume so much. Now, I don't know if this person has thick skin or not. If she doesn't, she's toast forever. to deal with this much hatred.
Oh, she's never going to work again.
She's never going to recover from this. Like, and like just psychologically, maybe she'll be able to be like, some people are stupid and they can be weird, but that might take her 3 years to arrive at that conclusion. And you robbed her of 3 years of her life, you know, like, so everybody can't just bounce back from absolute hatred and vitriol from people. Human beings aren't that tough. That's why everybody wanted safe spaces on your side like a week ago, dumbasses, is because stuff like this destroys people, like, actually, you know. So like, this girl's going to have to go through counseling,
and
she's going to need, and she's pregnant. Like, the amount of stress that's coming under that just now.
I was going to say, you may not know that as a man, but like, you've seen your wife pregnant and everything. That is when back in the day, when you were pregnant, you know what they used to say? She's in a delicate state.
Right.
That's what's the saying. There's a reason why. It's true. Your hormones do go all over the place. You are in a delicate state. You're thinking differently because of all the crazy hormones. I mean, your body is it's doing something amazing, but it's a lot of work and a lot of stuff is happening. So you may not be like you said, resilient to the 100% like you would have been had you not been pregnant. It's just the lack of humanity that they're showing. Even we're supposed to show freaking death row inmates humanity. And we're showing them more humanity than this poor lady's gotten over a freaking hoax.
Yeah, it's sad. But you know what? More and more this stuff keeps happening, and more normal people start being like, the facade is slipping. Even Elon's been talking about that on Twitter. He's like, in the next few years, like, citizen journalists are going to be dominating the planet. And if you're a person who's in the mainstream media, like, your opinion's going to be worthless if you're not accurate, you know? And it's like, that's so true. Everybody's going to know.
No, it's true. And when you just said waking up people too, you caught that during the thing where she says, you're hurting my fetus, right?
Yeah.
So chances are she voted for the Democratic policies in that
possibly.
area. Nobody says my fetus at
right.
6
Nobody
months.
says
you
fetus.
just say, hey, my baby, or my stomach, my baby.
Right.
She made it a point to say fetus. So I'm pretty sure we kind of know where she will be on, and she's in
potentially,
New York.
right? Yeah, it's we're pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well,
exactly.
So yeah, like we said, the people are starting to wake up now.
Yes.
They're starting to smell. They're starting to smell their own brand of poo and going, "This isn't working good."
Right.
And so some people are starting to revolt. Jeff, bring this up. This is one of my favorite clips of the week. This is a Dollar General employee that they robbed this Dollar General, and she wasn't having none of it.
Shut up, bitch.
Oh, quit stealing shit. That's the same. That's the same fucking time. What the fuck? That's the second time.
Stupid ass bitch.
You can't afford flowers, dumbass.
Fuck your ass, bitch.
Fuck you.
You don't live a fucking life out there, bitch.
Oh, you see me living in my fucking
You
car?
motherfucking shit, bitch.
You know I fucking live in my car? You fucking working hard. You fucking stealing for the store?
Shut up, bitch.
Fucking asshole.
Ain't that fucking serious, though?
Not that fucking serious.
Man, you gonna fix my shit, bitch?
Fix your shit. Buy your own shit.
Dumbass bitch.
Fucking messing up this person's house. What the fuck?
You did that.
You can't afford fucking
Shit.
shit.
Look, ain't that fucking serious, nigga?
Stealing for the fucking store.
Who cares? Everybody steals from the motherfuckers all the time. If it was your people, you wouldn't be tripping.
Fuck you.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah, you going to jail for that, bitch.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Make sure of that. Yeah. And I'm pressing charges, bitch. Good looking. I need that money.
He said, and I'm pressing charges. Good looking. I need that money. You know, and he's literally saying right before that, the thing that you heard and got mad about, he's literally saying right before that, he goes, so what? Everybody steals from there.
It's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yes, it is.
That's
a problem.
That's a problem. You're not allowed to take other people's shit. It's like one of the rules that we have to make sure that we can actually coexist together. If you take my shit, I'm going to take your shit, and we're going to fight, and one of us is going to die. It's one of the reasons you're not supposed to steal shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? And when these DAs that Soros is hiring and these Democrats are voting in are basically stopping everybody from getting punished. Mm-hmm. And then not only that, did you hear the Gotham sentence that rang true in there? And I'm pressing charges. Yeah. He's talking about pressing charges against her to get money from her. How corrupt is the justice system when you rob the store and they stop you and you press charges on them? You know what I mean? Like, where are we at in society where that's, if you're wondering if America is falling, guys, in these cities that has,
Yeah, in the cities for sure. But they're, again, getting a taste of their own. You vote for it. You vote for this. This is what happens. Yes, we can be compassionate and we can be like nice to people. We can humanize and have humanity in people that do bad things. In fact, the Bible tells us to still love the people that do wrong. Okay. But you still can't just steal stuff. You still have to be, there still has to be order.
Right.
In order to maintain a civil society. And they're punishing the law-abiding citizens for putting a toe out of line, or like that, what could have been just a misunderstanding over a city bike. We're raking them over the coals, and then real stuff, it's not that big of a deal. Why is it a big deal? It is a big deal. You keep making little stuff like, oh, that doesn't matter. People are just going to bump it up. Oh, let's see how much further I could take it. Let's see how much further I could take it.
Yeah, I mean, they're closing like all the big box stores like Walmart and Costco and whoever the heck else is dropping all their stores in San Diego and San Francisco and places. I just saw another one close the other day.
Chicago just lost all their Walmarts.
Yeah, I think Chicago was the one that lost all their Walmarts. Yeah, and it's just like, what did y'all expect, dude? What do you expect?
The way they look at it is this, and we saw it during the BLM protests because they were yelling it over TikTok and everything like that. Well, these places have insurance. They have plenty of stuff to cover them, basically, is what they're saying, that these corporations and stuff, people still have to get paid off of that. Like, it's not as simple as that. It's just not as simple as insurance. Like, people don't understand that premiums go up after you make a claim. Like, that matters. That matters to a company, to their bottom line. So they'll be like, okay, if we have to keep making insurance claims for all the stealing that's happening at this location in Chicago, location 574, looks like we should probably just close 574 and they can drive to the suburbs where the Walmart that doesn't get stolen from, or where they have better city laws in that city.
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put my store in a place that it could consistently get robbed. I'd be like, no, let's go to the place down the street that they're like, robbing's not cool, because that's how we make things work.
Right.
People operate inside of certain boundaries, and then we all learn the game, you know?
It was how he said that so casually. Oh, it's not
so
that big
what?
of a deal.
Everybody steals
So
from
what?
there. Everybody does it.
No, that's why we're in this predicament. That's why we're in this predicament, like a societal predicament, I guess you could say, or I would say worldwide, because, I feel like it's all trickling down to other countries too. But, the stuff happening in America is just a societal decay.
Right.
Is because
of that. The decay of the good things.
Yeah.
But, either way,
it's fun to watch.
It's fun to watch. It's a little fun to watch.
Hey, this is waking people up.
Yeah. And look, they're doing great. They're doing more preaching than I could ever do on the side of the corner.
Chef's kiss.
Doing great. Bunch of fat, angry 40-year-old single women out there that are pissed off. And you're like, well, whatever you guys believed obviously didn't work. Let's
go
stop.
March again. Go march again in them
go
streets
march again. No prosecution for anything. Got it.
Perfect. Criminal justice reform.
I hope you hate Walmarts and nice things in your neighborhood.
Exactly.
Not that Walmart's a nice thing. But
in some places it is.
In some places they doll it up a little bit. It
matters, but it matters in places where they complain about low income and this and that, and people don't have enough money. You need a cheap place to be able to shop and can afford things, not just like the Whole Foods and REI or something. They can't shop there, Even middle class people can't shop there. It's too expensive. You need places like Walmart in these low income areas.
Yeah, no option. Well, yeah. Well, you want to say anything else?
No. I think we went through some fun stuff.
It was a fun one.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time. If you're looking for consultations about social media or business or anything like that, click the link in my bio on Instagram. I'd love to help you out. I have free 15-minute consultations right now. And hope you do well. See you soon.